You want to get hardcore? You want to get extreme? Well, you could do both with this podcast. Circle of debate, baby. You want to be hardcore? You want to be extreme? Tune the fuck in.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of Debate podcast, top 5 of the week. This is your host, obviously the devious one, here alongside with my fellow brothers. Obviously, we have the killer of all killers. He will kill your fucking reputation. You better watch yourself on Twitter, especially. He'll block your ass, or you'll block him. Which is right, Josh Horn, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you better be ready to get extreme.
That's right.
Are you ready to get extreme?
Are you ready? And also we have the hero of heroes. It's your hero. It's everybody's hero here. It's mine. The American hero like Mike Roper.
Consider yourself saved because the hero has arrived. Let's get extreme.
That's right. And of course we have our special guest for this evening as well. We have the studio of all studios. He is Mr. MGC himself.
MGC.
Mr. Matthew Caranteja, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, brother.
I did that just for this show because of the theme, obviously.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The theme for this evening, once again, thank you, Sandman, for the great shout out. We love you, Sandman. I'm glad that you're a big fan of the Circle of Debate podcast. We appreciate you for the love, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much, Sandman. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the top 5 of the week of top 5 extreme hardcore wrestlers. So now it's time to choose who's going to go first on their top 5. So, drum roll is going. MGC, what do you got for us?
Kicking it off. Ready to go.
Bottom to top, top to bottom.
We're going to go bottom to top. You know how we do. So,
yes, sir.
I'll open my number 5. You could say he's an all-time great, but like compared to some of the other guys on this list, he's a little bit of a spring chicken in comparison. But to us in our timeline, he's one of the all-time greats. All RVD, Mr. Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
I have a feeling a lot of the rest of us are also going to be putting him up there too. He doesn't need the weapons. He doesn't need the weapons, but he's great with weapons and without. I mean, the Van Daminator. Like, how can you go wrong with that? That's such a great. I can't imagine anybody else kicking the chair the way he does. And like one of my. Like, I hope we see it in our lifetime, but I mean, Impact kind of have him nailed down. But I want to see RVD versus Kenny Omega at least before I die, or Rob Van Dam versus Will Ospreay before I die. One of those two things.
Never gonna happen. Never.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Wishful
Never
thinking.
say never.
Never say never.
You heard it here first.
I mean, they're both alive. That's the only thing that puts it, up there. Or RVD versus Ricochet, but then WWE has their hands on him. So number 4, that's another person we just referenced, Sandman. That's my number 4.
That's right. Okay, all right. Now we're talking.
That's actually the first. He's the reason why I got to know Metallica. I was 12 years old. I'd never heard heavy metal. I've never heard like as a Filipino American in Southern California, we were mostly listening to like hip hop growing up, but I didn't hear Metallica until I searched up Sandman's theme and it was the Motorhead version of Enter the Sandman, and then I heard Metallica's version, and then from there I was hooked, and that was me at age 11 or 12 at the time, downloading wrestler theme songs off Kazaa. And, watching his matches, though, the brutality of them. Number 3. Now we're going into really, grand. I wonder who else is going to list this guy. Sabu.
Sabu, of course.
Sabu.
Yep, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on Sabu.
Sabu, the most homicidal, most
Suicidal,
most genocidal, the jumping off tables, hitting it like both RVD and Sabu. They have a talent for just using weapons in such a cool way. It's like if Jet Li was using a steel chair in a fight, or I think Jackie Chan and Jet Li would have been like fun hardcore wrestlers if they were wrestlers. I think it would be kind of fun to see them in there. But I guess that's how you like RVD and Sabu is like how you can imagine Jet Li or Jackie Chan if they were hardcore wrestlers, how they would use chairs, like kicking chairs into people's faces or tables or trash can lids, doing a roundhouse kick, Sabu, all his classics with fire and barbed wire. This is a very, so that brings me to number 2, somebody who's had some great matches with Sabu. I'm so ashamed of myself that he's not number 1, but you'll see why once I tell you who's number 1. You guys ready for number 2?
Go for it.
Terry Funk.
Oh, you creepy little bastard, you son of a bitch. I want a fucking sandwich. You piece of
Or
shit.
who is it that said they wanted Terry Funk's name to be changed to Chainsaw Charlie because they said nobody would know who Terry Funk is? It wasn't Bruce Pritchard, right?
No, it was Vince Russo. I think it was Russo or McMahon, one of them two.
Yeah, he said it has to be Chainsaw Charlie, but
Oh no, it was Terry Funk himself.
No, who said Terry Funk had to change his name to Chainsaw Charlie?
Oh, then it was Russo or Papa Vinny. But obviously,
I was thinking Kevin Dunn.
Oh my God!
It might have been him. Somebody from up there.
Bugs Bunny, guilty motherfucker. But yeah, go ahead.
John Laurinaitis.
Hey, I got a good idea. Call yourself. Hey, Chainsaw Charlie. Yeah, that'd be great. I love your pecs.
John Laryngitis. John. That's what the name sounds like and what he sounds like. But Terry, I only just recently watched the match with, the beginning of that angle with him and Flair. After Flair defeated Steamboat, Terry Funk comes in and then they start the whole, the promo and that whole rivalry.
Yeah. Yep.
NWA.
Yes.
And
that was a great rivalry, by the way. Watch that. YouTube that shit, ladies and gentlemen.
Terry Funk, and he had some classic matches with Mick Foley. I also feel ashamed of myself for not putting Mick Foley on this list, but he'd be tied with Terry. Yeah, I'm sorry he's not on this list. You'll be surprised who number 1 is. This won't be a swerve like last week. This guy definitely earned his place.
We ain't gonna have a
walkout again
from the original.
Don't worry,
Impact
this won't be.
era there,
Let me spoil it. It's the ECW zombie.
That would be the ultimate swerve.
That's the swerve.
Oh my God!
Freaking.
No.
And it's
I thought the ECW zombie was Abyss at first. I thought he went to WWE back when I was watching it because they look kind of alike, bro.
All right, I'll tell you who number 1 was.
Drum roll, people. Drum roll.
Number 1. Here we go. Atsushi Onita.
Remind me, who is he again?
He invented deathmatch wrestling in Japan. He had that match with Terry Funk where the ring exploded.
Oh, that fat boy.
Yeah, the Japanese guy. He has even in a wrestling museum in Japan, he has the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire with his name autographed on it. He even after his wrestling career, he actually ran for Congress in Japan, just like how Antonio Inoki became a congressman in Japan, and Atsushi Onita also became a congressman in Japan. And Onita, he had a lot of classic matches with a lot of the greats. He's up there, and I want him to be. I'm making him number 1 on my list just because he bled all that blood with Terry Funk and so many of today's deathmatch guys, and
Did he had a run in FMW too at the time, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Did right? Because I do remember them. I think him and Hayabusa, if I remember.
Atsushi Onita. He's very. I even the funny thing is, I have a Korean friend who actually looks exactly like him, but you know, he's a little bit prettier than that guy. You know, he's a former All Japan Tag Team Champion. He's had a lot of different titles. You know, Onita's great, and so many guys that like bleed half to death out there. Just people, the broken glass, the tube lights. Like, he has so many descendants that kind of follow in his footsteps, like, after that. Because that first match with Terry Funk, and then he just wanted to keep upping the ante. Yeah. And, you know, so many guys cite him as an influence. He's you know, it's like the Stooges, kind of how the Stooges influence Punk.
Right,
you know,
right.
That's who Atsushi is to Onita is to deathmatch and hardcore wrestling of today. John Moxley, he's one of Moxley's heroes. Hence why, like, you see Moxley with the baseball bat and barbed wire.
Yep.
Like, Atsushi was known for that. But yeah, that's my list. I could talk more about Terry Funk and Sabu.
All right, well, we'll give you.
Everybody's got a lot of things to say about those guys.
Okay, then we'll give you an honorable mention. Who was your honorable mention?
Mick Foley.
Of course.
He bled so much.
Bang,
all these guys. If anything, I'll say that, like, I think there was this picture that was kind of like the image of, like, Christ with the crown of thorns, but it's Terry Funk with the crown of barbed wire.
Oh, that's what they were trying to do with Sandman when it was Raven. You remember that?
It's like the crown of barbed wire when he was crucified.
That's man. You know how much shit Paul Heyman got at that fucking time.
Well, I want to do
air on television.
I was gonna do one more honorable mention.
Yeah, that's what he left.
If you don't mind, Ivan, I've got just one more honorable mention.
Go for it.
Tommy Dreamer.
Okay. You know, I'm loving your list. So far, I'm not getting pissed off with it. So somebody over there had to put, you know, which, by the way, who won the poll? Evolution, right?
Oh, really? Man, I can't remember.
Well, it was half and half.
Know, man.
Amongst us or online?
No, on Twitter. On Twitter.
I done that to fuck with you, bro. I done that.
I knew it. I knew you fucking did it, and that's what I'm like.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I done it to fuck with him, Ivan don't know this, but I cheated. You know what I'm saying? I used.
Oh, you asshole! What did you do?
I used my Twitter page. I used WMR Twitter page.
Well, Ivan, Josh,
I used like 4 or 5 Twitter pages because you was about to win, bro. And I think you still won.
You see?
Ivan, Josh, if it was the thing is, if it was a popularity contest and not like an influence and prestige contest, like Randy Orton and Triple H just like have the popularity thing going.
It's obviously because people didn't watch the whole debate, man. If they would have watched the whole debate and heard me and Mike's point of view about it, you know what I'm saying? I believe.
Like, of course, Triple H and Randy Orton and Batista have a lot of fans in general, just because they're just really well-known names. Is what I'll say about the three. I mean, like Batista's like a regular movie star nowadays. So I just
think it takes time to make legends, and as more time passes by, people will appreciate Evolution more. Just like
Batista's a movie. Batista's a movie star. Arn Anderson's a wrestler. There's a difference.
It's a wrestler, not a wrestler. A wrestler.
Yeah, wrestler. But we got in that argument last week, ladies and gentlemen, and my best argument for it was: do you see all the rest of the 4 horsemen getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for their singles career? And you don't. So I mean, but you do. Every member of Evolution. They only had 4 members. If they would have had more members, like the 4 horsemen did, then yeah, but that's not fair. Well, they stuck with the original 4, and they was all multiple-time world champions at least 6 times, 13 times, 14 times, 16 times. Just
we're not okay.
20 years past.
All right. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch it on our archives on the YouTube channel. Subscribe.
That's right.
Below, so watch that debate, and you know
it gets heated. I'll tell you what.
And also, don't forget to follow our social media platforms. Will be in the description below as well. So, watch that in archives.
Mike needs to put that one in a fucking clip, like edit it, put a clip like he did with that other stuff, with the list.
Sounds
All
good.
right,
Sounds good.
That was good shit.
That's good shit. Good shit. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. We'll start off. Well, yeah, you know what? Since you wanted to talk, Mr. Killer, let's go ahead. I want to hear yours.
All right, let's hear your top 5.
Let's hear it. I want to hear
Pretty
this.
excited.
All right. Let me see. Who do I want? See, I didn't even mark down the numbers, because I didn't know yet. But yeah.
See where they call out to you in your heart.
I know who's calling out to me in my heart right now. And I know somebody y'all need to think about because the guys who are old school. But my number 5 is going to be Bruiser Brody.
Ooh.
I love it. I love that pick. I love it.
And I mean, WWE Hall of Fame class 2019. I mean, which I couldn't remember for some reason, but I looked it up and apparently it's true.
That was Undertaker's first professional match too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. He was known as Big Red or some shit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was wearing a mask. He was a mask guy. When he
or was it
debuted.
Evil Red? Big Red or Evil Red? I can't remember. Yes, but Bruiser Brody, I mean, this crazy man coming out with his crazy hair and these crazy eyes.
Furry boots.
Fucking scarred up forehead, scarred all the fuck. With a chain, just swinging that chain around. He would almost go up to the crowd and scare the fuck out of everybody. I mean, and when you saw this motherfucker coming out, you know hell was about to be unleashed. I mean, almost every time you had a match, somebody, whether it was him or whether it was somebody else, they ended up bleeding. He was a traction wrestler mostly. I mean, you never really saw him stay in the WWF long or other places long. He would go from here to there. But, I mean, this guy started his career 1973, and he is synonymous with hardcore wrestling. Someone almost all the time ended up bleeding, like I said, and from WCCW to WWF to CSW to CWFF to the AWA to All Japan. This motherfucker right here is one of the founding fathers of hardcore to me, Bruiser Brody. And I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all watch The Dark Side of the Ring on Bruiser Brody, which if you haven't and you don't know who Bruiser Brody is, I recommend that you watch that because this motherfucker right here was fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. His matches against Abdullah the Butcher was great.
Yeah. He a lot of people didn't know this, I don't think. And if you don't know it, he would rarely agree to lose a match because he didn't want to fuck up his image because that's how much he was into keeping kayfabe, bro. His feuds with the Butcher, with Carlos Colon, matches with Dusty Rhodes. I mean, and sometimes Bruiser Brody, he would actually intentionally hurt motherfuckers during matches. I didn't know this, but I read about it. Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he would intentionally hurt motherfuckers.
Him and Stan Hansen, when they were tag team champs, they were tag teams up there in Japan. They were like oh my God. You want to talk about APA? That was like the original APA right there of hardcore. I'll tell you that. Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody, fuck, amazing talent.
Yeah, man. This guy right here is one of those guys like that inspired the ECW generation, I think. And of course, we know that he was murdered by Jose Gonzalez, who was acquitted of it. Bruiser Brody died at age 42.
So young.
And I believe I read something, like, I didn't even know this, but I read it that Bruiser Brody was in a match with Jose Gonzalez in WWF. If it's the same Jose Gonzalez. And Bruiser Brody, he wouldn't sell. He wouldn't sell to he kind of refused to sell for Jose Gonzalez. So maybe Gonzalez holding that grudge all those years. And, the story was that Jose Gonzalez's kid had drowned like a day or two before this incident. So he was off edge. And obviously I mean, I don't know. He went for Brody and he killed him. But Brody, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats, one of the original hardcore wrestlers. So that's my number 5 pick, the Wild Man, man. Bruiser Brody, man. A guy who challenged for the WWF title before. He came up short, didn't win. Man, could you imagine if he would have won that title, man?
Nah, he didn't need it.
But I believe it would. That's what I'm saying. He didn't need it, but it would have added to the legacy of that title just because he held it.
Yeah.
Because he was that good. He was that good.
It elevates the. Sometimes the title elevates the man, but sometimes the man elevates the title.
Yep, I agree. All right.
And so that leads me to let's see, number 4, another guy that I want to talk about here that you just mentioned, Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, here's a guy that Mick Foley said you could put some kind of game chips in his head and it would sink in because that's how far his scars and his forehead went. This guy, when he came to the ring, you know somebody was about to be in pain. I watched a 20-minute shoot video of various wrestlers on YouTube shoot on him, and it seemed like they all fucking hated him because he actually gave hepatitis C to different wrestlers. Like, he go crazy with that fucking fork, just stabbing motherfuckers. And I don't know if he knew he had it or what.
I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew.
Was he the one who was he the? Doesn't he also own like a barbecue thing?
Yeah,
like
I believe so.
He does. He does. Like a barbecue restaurant, like something like that.
Yeah,
like a barbecue like pit joint. So I forgot where though, because I have to where he lives at.
It's like gotta be in the South.
I mean,
but
I
see,
have no idea.
man, I had to pick him because, I mean, you got to think about that time period. When you see Abdullah the Butcher coming out, you knew somebody was about to get fucked up. And I remember one time when he was in WCW for a little bit, I think it might have been only one appearance, or it might have been more than that. I think, yeah, it was more than that. It was a little bit more than that, but he wasn't there that long, I don't think. But it was Cactus Jack who was feuding with Sting, and Cactus, he had a surprise. He had a surprise that was in a box for Sting. Sting opened the box or whatever happened. The box got open, and Abdullah the Butcher was in there. And so, very, very extreme surprise for Sting right there. And seeing Abdullah the Butcher and Cactus Jack feud with Sting was also epic. I mean, the guy, Abdullah the Butcher, man, debuted 1958. So, and then he didn't retire till 2012. So, what a fucking career he had. I mean, guy, like I said, he used to cut motherfuckers open with forks. His forehead is probably the most scarred forehead in pro wrestling, as he bladed all the time.
Yeah,
it's like Morse code.
Yeah, and like we said, he had crazy ass hardcore matches, just like Bruiser Brody did, and he had it with Bruiser Brody and Carlos Colon and other people. So I mean, by him giving hepatitis C to people. I mean, like you said, I hope it wasn't intentional or anything. But yeah, in that shoot interview that I did watch, when the Butcher went into the Hall of Fame of 2011 in the WWE, I heard that superstar Billy Graham, he requested that his name be removed from the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's how much he did not like Abdullah the Butcher. But yeah, his reputation, man, it speaks for itself. He's someone that everybody in the wrestling business knows as a hardcore icon. He's known for being involved in some of the most violent and bloody hardcore matches of all time. And this is a guy, just like Bruiser Brody, that I think inspired ECW guys to go hardcore as they did. So, I mean, you got to put these founding fathers like up there in the top 5, bro, to me.
All right. All right.
And now number 3. Damn, this is a tough pick right here, bro. Number three. I gotta narrow it down because I got some other ones wrote down, but who's gonna make it? You know what I'm saying? So number three. You know what? Fuck it. I want to go with Sabu.
Woo!
Just like
I knew we'd see some repeats today.
Just like he said. Sabu. He began his career in '85. He was trained by his uncle, I believe, the original Sheik.
Yes, sir.
He is known for his crazy, innovative moves. I mean, this guy's the guy that should have been. If he's not a millionaire, he should have been a millionaire. Sabu has been in almost every fucking promotion. I'm not going to even say every promotion he's been in. We'd be here all night. I mean,
don't start a list, all right? Do not start a list.
No,
You do not want to do what the American Hero does, please.
But did you know that, let's see. I mean, the guy is a one-time ECW FTW world champion, like I said earlier.
Yes. What you said on Friday.
That's right. Everybody remember what I said on Friday? And also, he's a two-time ECW world champion, one-time ECW world TV champion, three-time ECW tag team champion. One time he won it with Taz, two times with RVD. He also held the NWA World Championship. I'm not sure if it's the legit World Championship or was it another version of it, but he did hold NWA World Title Gold. And and I believe MGC are like this. Sabu once he chose New Japan over ECW because ECW was running monthly shows, and I guess he wanted to make that money. So, I mean, he went over to New Japan for a while, and he became the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Woo! But, yeah, with Sabu, man, I can remember going back and watching all the Nitros because I said I missed out on all of them because I was loyal to the WWF back then. That was the only product that I would watch. But here recently, like in the last year or so, I went back and I watched the Nitros, and I see Sabu on the second episode of Nitro, I believe. So, I mean, he's made his mark everywhere from his fucking his time facing Abyss in the first ever Barbed Wire Massacre matchup at Turning Point, to his match at One Night Stand with Rey Mysterio that ended in a no contest in 2006, I believe it was. And then he won an Extreme Battle Royal and got to face John Cena at Vengeance. So, I mean, he's had a hell of a fucking career, this guy. And
Sabu could have been pushed, but, you know,
definitely.
in WWE, because Vince actually liked him. And remind you that people don't understand that Sabu made fucking Vince to call his uncle, hey, he has permission to go over there and to do what he needs to do. And Vince had to call the original Sheik. And remind you that the original Sheik and Vince, they go way back too, towards his dad's era as well with the WWF. So they go way back. So, of course, yeah, Vince asked permission. Yeah, I guess it's a traditional thing. And I like that. It's a lot of respect. So, definitely, he was going to get pushed. But, you know, him and RVD got pulled over. She got right there. Oh, man. What is this? and that was it. RVD had to drop his belts. Sabu was let go. That was it. It was done with. It was an unfortunate.
And also, this man right here, Sabu, you know, I believe it was ECW that first introduced the triple threat match, which was actually first called the three-way dance. And that match, Paul Heyman booked it at I believe it was one of their first pay-per-views. It might have not have been, but it was the first ever three-way matchup. Sabu, Shane Douglas, and Terry Funk. And the match went a whole hour into a time limit draw. Paul Heyman said that this match is either going to make me or break me.
And it made him.
It made it. I mean, then we know how Sabu, he started out, he come out as like this madman strapped to a gurney, and they wanted him to be like Hannah Lecter style with the fucking mask on, and then he would go out to the crowd, throw these cheers, and do this crazy shit. I mean, obviously he said that he hated doing that, but I also remember watching. I don't know if y'all ever bought the DVD Bloodsport, ECW Bloodsport.
No, I seen it, but I've never bought it.
Yeah, man, there's some crazy fucking matches on there with Sabu. I believe that he actually super glued his wound with his cut open orb.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he super glued that shit back together. I mean, here is a guy that should be on everybody's top 5. I mean, while in ECW, his injuries from broken ribs to a broken jaw. He also broke his neck 2 times.
To a broken freaking neck. Courtesy of the crippler.
Chris Benoit, the first time. And then the second time, I believe it was to Taz.
Taz, yep.
Yep.
Through that, what was it? The, not straight jacket suplex, but I think it was close to that. Wasn't it? I forgot, but it was like through the table. Now you saw his legs were standing up and his neck was done through that table. Yep, I remember that. Oh no, it wasn't Dragon Suplex. Yes, it was. Yes, never mind. It wasn't.
Sometimes you didn't know when Sabu was gonna fuck up or when he was gonna do this move right. But you remember when he would like run from one rope and then jump on the chair and then jump on the top rope and then out to the ring? Sometimes he would fuck that up. But it made it even better because you didn't know if he was going to fuck up or if he was going to do it. But, but yeah, Sabu got what he, you know what I'm saying? I think his career highlight for him was all these hardcore matches. But to me, I was glad to see him get to wrestle at WrestleMania 23, finally get to be at Mania. You know, it was the ECW original, Sabu, RVD, Tommy Dreamer and Sandman versus the New Breed, Elisha Burke, Kevin Thorne, Marcus Corvin, Vaughn, and Matt Striker. But yeah, it was just good to see him there, and he's working for Impact again. So I mean, that's good.
We'll see.
But yeah, if you want to see some extreme Sabu matches, go back, watch the ones in ECW with the first triple threat match, which was a 3-way dance. And I would definitely suggest checking out those Monster Balls match in TNA with Abyss. So that is my number 3 pick right there.
Dos.
And damn, man, I just got this list, man, and it is fucking hard to cut some of these guys out. But
you could do honorable mentions after.
Yeah. Okay, so number two. I'm trying to figure out who I want number 1 to be because I don't want to put. You know what? Number two to be, if we want to talk about the most hardcore, and it is going to be a repeat because. But this guy deserves to be on it, man. He deserves to be on it, and that's Terry Funk.
Oh, you slow son of a bitch. Are you heard? Where's my goddamn sandwich?
And I'll tell y'all guys,
lazy bastard.
Why Terry Funk is on my list. Because if it wasn't for Terry Funk, then I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. He's the reason why I started watching wrestling. It was December the 29th, 1997. It was
Forever.
It was Raw. My stepdad turned it on wrestling, and there was this big box on the stage. And all night I was like, what the fuck's in this box? So it kept me tuned into the program. And then I got to see everybody else doing all these incredible things while I'm waiting to see what's in this box. Well, then we know that the New Age Outlaws try to fuck up Cactus Jack. Then we hear that chainsaw coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And Chainsaw Charlie cuts through the damn box.
It's Chainsaw motherfucking Charlie, motherfucker.
Yeah, and he comes out, and him and Cactus
You
Jack,
dirty whore.
him and Cactus Jack chase off the fucking the New Age Outlaws, and then they go into that feud, which went to WrestleMania, which was one of my first WrestleManias. But yeah, this guy's the reason why I started watching, because I wanted to know what was in that box. And what was in that box was a fucking legend, a fucking a guy that was in the WCW Hall of Fame class of '95, a guy that was in the Stampede Wrestling Hall of Fame '95, a guy that's in the NWA Hall of Fame 2000.
Former NWA champion, baby.
A guy that's in the WWE Hall
Forever.
of Fame.
Forever.
I mean, this is a guy that's career spanned over 50 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of the true pioneers of hardcore wrestling.
He never wanted to retire. Never wanted to fucking retire.
Guys,
he retired more than anybody ever, I think.
Josh, Ivan, Mike, I really believe that at some point, I really believe Terry Funk was going to die in the ring. That's really what I thought was going to happen with him. Did you guys think that too, or?
Oh yeah, of course.
And there was also a point, like right before that three-way dance matchup he had, or right after it was. I don't remember if it was right before or right after, but it was somewhere around that time period. And Terry Funk got a contract offer from WWE. He could go there, and he was already in his 60s. He could go there and make millions, or he could stay there in ECW. And he chose to stay there in ECW at the time. He told his wife, I want to stay there with the boys that I've been going up and down the road with. I want to do that. I want to do what I want to do. And he said that he should be a millionaire right now. If he would have went to WWE.
For me, he is. Because, man, watch Beyond the Mat. It made me cry. I'm going to tell you about that. Terry Funk story makes me cry. Because that motherfucker put a lot of time to the ring, more to his family, but his family loves him. His daughters love him. The fact that he provided whatever he can for them, and there's no hatred, there's no remorse of what he's done. And rest in peace to his wife.
Rest in peace.
She took care of that while he was in the road, and that's dedication. That's a true family, man. So I'm with you on that. Terry Funk, yeah.
And I'm saying, like, the man's accomplishments are endless. I can't go through. There's no way I can go through them all, because I went.
We could do like 3 shows on his accomplishments, his whole career.
I went and looked him up, and I found myself strolling down more than I have for any of my other wrestler. Like the stroll down would not end. I mean, this guy,
the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, he so much accomplishments, and the way he was able to reinvent himself from the NWA Terry Funk to the hardcore style. I mean, when he was in ECW, he elevated ECW by headlining their first pay-per-view, Barely Legal, in '97.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the ECW World Title from Raven. He lost the title later on in a barbed wire match versus Sabu at Born to Be Wired in a no ropes and only barbed wire.
Oh
match.
my God, that shit was deadly. I remember that.
That shit was deadly.
Oh God, I feared for his life. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, damn man, you're too old for this shit, man. But he has that mentality.
But that's what made it even better. Like, because he was so old, he was like, damn, I don't want to get fucked up right here.
He's one of my favorite color commentary guys too. Like him.
Oh man, you can see that son of a bitch. What the hell did he just do? Oh my God! Sorry. I love it.
My dream team is Terry Funk and Jim Ross.
That's hell no!
I love them together in WCW.
No. But go ahead. My apologies.
Yeah. I said like his accomplishments was endless, but I will name a few, man. 2 times ECW World Champion, 1 time ECW TV Champion. He held so many fucking NWA titles that I fucking can't even fucking. He won titles in the Georgia version of NWA and the Florida version. The territory days. He's also a one-time NWA World Champion. So many different versions of the NWA Tag Team titles. It's crazy. He was a two-time NWA WCW US Champion. I'm not sure if that applies to the current US title.
No, it doesn't. It's a whole different. It's the whole different territory.
All right. And oh yeah, we did forget to mention that, but I do love the new design of the United States Championship. Very, very, very nice. It depends on the lighting the title's on, but very beautiful design.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a few moments.
All right, and also a three-time WCW Hardcore Champion. And I told you, man, that run with Cactus Jack got him a one-time as the WWE Tag Team Champions with Cactus Jack. And I had to put him on my list. I had him put up there at number 2. He might should have been number 1 because he's the whole reason that I'm still watching professional wrestling all these years later, over 20 years later. And it's crazy. It's because of Terry Funk.
Okay. And now numero uno, drum roll.
Let's get ready.
My number 1 pick is one motherfucker that doesn't give a fuck. And he is somebody that if you was a wrestler, you might be scared to be booked in a match with it. If anything, he is one of the best, in hardcore wrestling. The man debuted in 1992. The man is known as New Jack.
Yep, I knew it.
That's my number 1 right there.
Damn.
You see, violence to you is putting somebody in a finger fall. Violence to me is taking a can of gas, pouring it on you, and setting you on fire.
Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we saw one of our best episodes. One of the best episodes of the Dark Side of the Ring was New Jack. The motherfucker is crazy. 93 to 94, North Georgia Wrestling Alliance. That's where the gangsters started. They won the NJPW tag gold, but they vacated them and left quickly for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where he was under the ownership of Jim Cornette right there, or the booker, Jim Cornette. And they had a hell of a feud with Rock and Roll Express. And the promos they cut, was fucking legendary, where, he said something about like, thank you, OJ. We got a couple less of them white people to worry about.
Quick shout out to my homeboy OJ Simpson.
Oh my God.
Man.
He was just
Congratulations, baby.
You gotta. Oh my God, man!
You've
seen it, right, Mike? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was fucking.
More on that later.
Oh yeah.
I also believe, man, that did not WWE let Undertaker go over there and have a little short feud with New Jack? If you look on YouTube, you'll see actually New Jack going to the graveyard, him and the gangsters, and talking about they're not scared of the Undertaker or whatever. It did happen. I cannot find the fucking match, but it happened.
There's a lot of stuff about it too. A lot of stories.
And
Not the match, but like a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, and as we talk about New Jack, he made his way to ECW in June of 1995, and then it came the famous mass transit incident where he fucked that 17-year-old kid up bad. Boy, you coming into a locker room trying to tell these wrestlers what to do.
Goodness.
And, you're just asking for trouble, man. And you fucked around and got in the wrong match with the wrong motherfucker. And he fucked your ass up. He fucked you up, man.
It's like being a little kid and trying to go into a professional boxing ring. You don't do that.
No, you don't.
You put your hand in a scorpion nest or something. That's pretty much what that was.
It was supposed to be like the Gangster versus Devon and Axel Rod, but Axel Rod didn't show up, and then this fucking mass transit guy takes his place. New Jack fucks him up, And we, of course, know New Jack got charged with aggravated assault, but was acquitted. I believe he was later on sued by, the family of Mass Transit or Mass Transit himself. And the kid, I mean, he ended up dying. And you see on the dark side of the ring, like, New Jack didn't give a fuck he dead or not. New Jack don't give a fuck. And that's what makes him one of the most hardcore wrestlers of all time. And then again in 2002, I mean, when he threw Vic Grimes off of that fucking scaffold and almost killed that motherfucker.
He's lucky he survived.
That was a receipt. That was a receipt, though, from one of their matches in ECW, wasn't it? Like where Vic Grimes, he was supposed to go off the top of the thing, and he didn't want to go. I don't know if he got scared or what, but New Jack pulled him, and that guy landed right on New Jack's head and gave New Jack the brain damage. But yeah, that was a receipt. So when New Jack got in that scaffold match with Grimes, they up the top there, New Jack just beat the shit out of him, and all of a sudden New Jack pulls out this taser. New Jack all coked up and everything, and he's like tasers the fuck out of that motherfucker. And the guy's like, Jack, I can't feel my legs. And New Jack's like, you ain't gonna need them. And he goes, bombs away. And he throws that motherfucker. There's like 20 fucking tables in the ring. And Grimes only hit one. And New Jack said in an interview, he's like, I was aiming for the turnbuckle. I wouldn't have killed that motherfucker.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, I mean,
that was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Like seeing somebody fall from the scaffolding through all those tables. Jesus.
And New Jack said, I didn't regret that either. I didn't regret that either.
No, he didn't regret it. He said it. He said it definitely.
He didn't regret shit he done.
What about your honorable mention though?
Wait a minute. I got two more things I want to say about New Jack. Gotta bring him up because this is why he's my number one. I mean, also 2003, we know that he beat the hell out of a 69 or 70-year-old man, Gypsy Joe. And
my God.
he beat the fuck
Gypsy
out of
Joe
that
thinks
bastard.
he was the old guy thought he was like the toughest SOB ever.
Yeah, he was like, tell New Jack that he got a sell for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like one of the toughest guys in the business. That's my reputation. Oh, they let New Jack hear that. New Jack's like, I'm not about to go out there and get my ass looking like I'm getting beat by an old man. So he beat the hell out of him, and while people chanting all these racial slurs, just pissed New Jack off more. And he beat the fuck out of that old man. And then finally, 2004, I mean, this guy starts trying to stiff New Jack and really hit him in the match. You know what I mean? And New Jack, all of a sudden, he pulls out a blade, starts stabbing that motherfucker multiple times. He stabbed the fuck out of him. The guy's name, Jason Lane, he got stabbed a lot of times by New Jack. So New Jack is one of these guys. He's at the top of my list because he probably should be doing time for attempted murder. I mean, and it's no wonder if he didn't kill some of these people. I mean, he's crazy. And like I said, my grandma's house is actually right up the road from a friend of his houses that's in the wrestling business, Chris Hendrick. So maybe I'll run into New Jack one day.
Challenge him to a match.
I ain't trying to get stabbed, bro.
In that episode of Dark Side of the Ring,
rules.
This one guy who used to live with New Jack, he's actually like a music producer. He makes music, and he said New Jack makes one of the best plates of spaghetti I've ever tasted. He said so.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
You should ask him and just make you some spaghetti, and then he'll tell you some funny stories. New Jack seems like a pretty chill guy these days.
Oh yeah.
These days, not
These
back
days.
then.
Unless he's on these days.
And that one guy who smokes the pencil shavings. What was
Oh
his
my
name?
God, I forgot his name.
Mustafa?
Yeah,
Yeah, there
Mustafa.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah. Let me talk about my honorable mention right quick. Yeah, you already said him, I believe. But yeah, the Sandman, man, debuted in 1989, coming out smoking cigarettes, drinking beer. His entrance with Enter the Sandman, the crowd was fucking epic, man. I mean, they was all on their feet, jamming out the that as he busts his head open with a beer, probably be a Budweiser sometime, Singapore Cane in the other hand. I mean, the guy is a record 5-time ECW world champion, won his first ECW world title from Don Morocco, won his last world title at Guilty as Charged. I mean, he wrestled in WCW, ECW, WWE, TNA. I forgot he even wrestled in WCW, but he did, as I believe Hack. What was it, Hack? I can't say his name right. It was spelled H-A-K. That's Hack, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And yeah, that promo where he cut about I believe his wife screwed him over or something. He's like, life's a bitch, and then you marry one. That right there was one of the fucking great things. I mean, one-time ECW Tag Team Champion with Two Cold Scorpio.
Gold Scorpio.
I mean, yeah. So Sandman, definitely an honorable mention, and another one, Tommy Dreamer. I mean, the man. I believe he said at one point he wouldn't mind if he died in the wrestling in ECW and back in the day. I mean, he put money into that company. It's what a lot of people don't realize. When Paul Heyman wasn't paying the guys or wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, it was Tommy Dreamer that was running this company, that was putting his own money into this company to keep this company growing. And that's why in a shoot interview not too long ago, Tommy Dreamer was like, when he saw Heyman show up in WWE after he told everybody else it was going to be all right in ECW, he was planning on killing Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 17, I believe it was. He was going to go shoot him and then kill himself. So, I mean, that's how much passion and love Tommy Dreamer had for the business, the innovator of violence. And, I mean, he was actually pissed off that he won a title in ECW. I believe it was the tag titles or something, because he wanted to go his whole career in ECW without winning gold. I don't know why, but he did. I mean, one time the ECW world champion, but he done that when WWE brought it back. 3 times ECW world tag champion, 14 times the WWF hardcore champion. So yeah, and then let's not forget his Singapore Cane match versus the Sandman, which Dreamer lost. And then after he has to take these 10 lashes, he's like, may I have another? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember those, yeah.
And now, amazing. I mean, we know that he owns the House of Hardcore, so shout out to him for that. And then my last honorable mention is Mick Foley, man, because, I mean, why not? I mean, Mick Foley, I mean, we remember him from our childhoods, getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell by Taker, getting through the fucking Hell in a Cell by Taker with a teeth coming out of his nose. The guy lost part of his ear in a wrestling match. I mean, yeah. 2 times ECW World Tag Team Champion with Mikey Whipwreck. 1 time TNA Legend Champion. 1 time TNA World Champion. 1 time WCW Tag Team Champion with Kevin Sullivan. 3 time WWE World Champion. 1 time WWE Hardcore Champion. And an 8 time WWE Tag Team Champion. I mean, Cactus Jack, he should be at least an honorable mention. I mean, I will say that I loved his match with Edge at WrestleMania where he got speared through that flaming table. And I loved the Monster Balls match in Impact with Abyss. So, yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
I want to tell you about this really funny memory I have of Mick Foley. And you guys remember that song, Hi, My Name Is by Eminem?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is.
What? So me and my brother are watching MTV, and they start playing the beginning of that video, right, where it's like the Brady Bunch, and they're showing Eminem said, "Hi, my name is who? My name is who? My name is Mick Foley." And like Mick Foley's head just appears in the center, and he's wearing the Mankind mask, and my brother's like, "What the fuck? Where's Eminem? And it was like Mick Foley doing his own like MTV countdown, and I was like, what the hell is this? And that was my first exposure to Mick Foley.
Oh my god!
It was that, whenever that song by Eminem comes on, the first thing I think about is Mick Foley. That's just because of that.
Hell yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break because we're hearing again as a captain. So we'll be right back. We still got 2 more left. So I'll be the next one, and obviously we'll save the hero for last. So I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You don't give a fuck about us, eh? You don't give a fuck if you, I can't spell right. And I spell it with an R when I'm writing things down. You know what I know how to spell? Circle of debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle Debate Podcast, top 5 of the week. Obviously, we were talking about extreme hardcore wrestlers. As we heard, obviously, Mr. Killer giving his honorable mentions. And wow, this is so far a great list, and none of them are pissing me off. So I'm actually happy. So now I'm going to go ahead and start because I want to save the hero for Mr. Last. The last,
let's do this.
That's what I want to do it. So, all right, I'm going to go and start off number 5.
I'm excited.
Number 5, you know what? I'm going to have to go with Hayabusa. I have to go with Hayabusa.
Here we go.
I like Hayabusa and FMW. I love them a lot. And he did a lot for that company. And he went hardcore for that company, for FMW. They were really known. And by the way, you know, even though you mentioned, you know, Matt, you know, you mentioned, you know, Shushi on anybody. I feel Onita, excuse me, yeah. But I feel that Hayabusa also, you know, was the influencer as well. For
he has one of the best moonsaults.
And the best, he was I believe he was the first one to do the Phoenix Splash, if anybody. That's what got me to fall in love with him, and then his hardcore death match style in FMW, and he brought it to the table. I loved it. I enjoyed him. So, and I think that he was the one that kind of influenced more RVD and more, you know, high flyers, high flyers. My opinion. That's just how I feel about it. So Hayabusa for me will be number 5. Excuse me. Number 4 will be. Of course, I'm gonna have to agree with with Mr. Killer. I have to go. You know, Bruiser Brody is another one. Bruiser Brody is another. I love him because I love his matches. You know, alongside with Sten Hansen and alongside and facing Abdullah the Butcher. So this gentleman had phenomenal matches in All Japan, and that's how he made his money. I wish his son could have been in pro wrestling, but it didn't happen. But I wish he could have lived longer. I didn't. It sucks how his life ended. Could have been different. I think he could have been a Hall of Famer. I mean, they put him in the legacy type of shit. Like, what the fuck is that? He should have been in the Hall of Fame, not on a legacy fucking awards. And no, whoever booked that shit, fucked up, stupid, fucking ridiculous. So, no, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's definitely for sure. Let's see. Number 3, will be Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer, like how you guys said, he was he was a really dedicated man. And
Man in the Box. I wish they let him keep that theme.
Yeah, I love him. I love Tommy Dreamer, his dedication, his passion for wrestling. He should be even though he runs his own promotion, House of Hardcore, but I feel he should be an agent for AEW. I think he could help AEW stars, even with females too. Another one, he could help out as well. But that's, you never know, never say never. He could have been an agent for WWE. Shit, he could have been something right now.
He had some good matches in MLW. He had a match against Brian Pillman Jr.
Mm-hmm. He put him over. He put he put Brian Pillman Jr. over.
I would doubt if we see more of Tommy Dreamer in AEW. Since isn't he a part of the Nightmare family?
Yeah, he's part of it. He's part of the Nightmare family, but we'll see how it turns out. I'm hoping. And number 2, this is gonna be the one that will shock you guys. Why? I say number 2, Spike Dudley.
Ooh.
Oh,
People forgot about Spike Dudley because he took
Dudley
the most painful shit of all time, all over ECW. I have to give that man his credit, man. You have to give him his credit where credit's due. Who could take all that painful, moves from the Dudley Boys, from Big Dick Dudley, from Bam Bam Bigelow to Sid Vicious when he showed up over there ECW, to Taz. I can name them all. He took a lot of punishment, man.
People want to fucking compare Marco Stunt to him, man. That's an insult. That's an insult, man.
Very different guys.
To me,
Very different guy. No. You had a school teacher that was doing school full-time and went pro wrestling part-time and made a name for himself. And I'm kind of glad that he had a great run in WWE. People don't think it was a great run. For me, it was. It was a great run. He had a great run as a cruiserweight champion,
the shit he
hardcore
done with
champion,
Holly and Hurricane, and
main eventing with Austin. He was a great worker, and he knew how to sell. So that's why I had to have him as my 2.
I just made this observation. He is like the Kevin Pollak of wrestling.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who Kevin Pollak is, he's like an actor who could he's in almost every movie just because he's so versatile.
Yes.
He could be the bad guy, he could play the dad, he could play the older brother, the teacher.
He could play anything.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
So that's kind of what Spike Dudley is in the ring. Like if you need somebody to be that type of like somebody to lose to the heel, or somebody to lose to the babyface, or somebody to make the babyface look good, or the heel.
He's doing some other kind of job right now. I think I watched him just recently on Chris Van Vliet. I think done an interview with him.
Yep.
Yeah, man, he's just enjoying his life. And
he gained a lot of weight, but I mean he looks happy. I think he was smart enough to save his money, and he's happy living the lifestyle he has.
I think he would probably, like, if he wanted to get back into the business, he would be actually like the best teacher ever. I'd say.
I don't believe he's gonna get back in it, bro. I think.
Just as a teacher, like
I think he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely deserving of a Hall of Fame spot, though.
Yeah, he should be. He should be there. My number 1, I mean, obviously you guys mentioned it. The only reason why I do not want to put it because he's an honorable mention to me, so I'm with you guys. It should be number 1. But the reason why I want to put it number 1 because he did give us a shout out. And remind you that I'm putting Sam at number 1. Why? Because he not only, besides the shout out he gave us, is the fact that he had every ECW fan singing his fucking theme song, which obviously, is Metallica or, Motor at the time. Matt was saying,
I love the Sandman, bro.
I love the Sandman because he's always the first fucker to bleed before he goes in the ring. And I love it. Like, he gives 2 shits. We know, during his prime, he was fucking great. He was great. And he pulled it. For me, I remember when I first saw him, I'm like, oh my God, he's the next Steve Austin. Like, he's the Steve Austin of VCW. And that's why would I pick him? Because he brought that crowd together. And people were going crazy when they hear him and he'd come out to the crowd. And that was amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I believe he was the first one that started doing that. I've never seen nobody in WWE.
I believe he was too. He's definitely the first one come out smoking cigarettes and bashing the beer over the head
and coming out instead of the ring entrance.
And it wasn't a gimmick, man. They saw him smoking and drinking backstage, and they told him
he's just being himself.
Be yourself. Yeah,
because he was like a surfer at first, but he changed it up.
Mm-hmm.
So the funniest thing I've ever heard Sandman say was on TNA. They were interviewing him, and they were just like they were just asking him like average questions like piercings or tattoos or what's your favorite beer, blah blah blah, smoking or drinking, blah blah blah. Well, they asked him a question: do you prefer this TNA diva or this TNA diva? And then he just takes a drag of his cigarette and he says, all women.
So I'm gonna have to give Sandman my number one, man, because
we love you, Sandman.
We love you, bro. Thank you so much for being a listener for the podcast. We appreciate your support, and that's what attracted me to him. Because when I first saw him, it was because he was like Steve Austin, and he was the first one to come out of the crowd smoking the cigarette and everything before Edge started doing it in WWF at the time.
Guys, agree or disagree with me on this? Do you think Sandman should be in some movies? You should do some acting?
Hell yeah.
He's hilarious.
Oh, he should be.
I hope that one year, man, they do a fucking ECW theme Hall of Fame, man. And I mean, you got to put guys like this in it in WWE. You know, Paul Heyman maybe should, and RVD, both of them would headline it, obviously, I think. But yeah, guys like Sandman should be in it.
I want to see Sandman in so many comedies. Like, I think he'd be so great. Like,
he could be a good villain.
Yeah, a good villain.
He could be one of those bodyguards. Like, you remember how like what was that movie that Stallone did was awesome for the first time? What was it called?
Expendables.
Yeah, the Expendables. See how Austin was. Sandman could do the same thing.
Yeah,
he could do it. But even though Austin wasn't the main villain, but he could have done that, and that would have been great too, even for him to do in future movies.
Batista's funnier in movies than he is in the ring.
No.
That's Batista.
Mm-hmm. And so I want to mention honorable mentions. Yes, obviously I'm not gonna talk story about yes, Terry Funk. Yes, Mick Foley. Yes, New Jack for sure. That's another one, definitely. Another one that should be. There's two honorable mentions that should be in there too. Should be Mikey Ripwreck. Should be in there because he took a lot of punishment as well.
He had a match with Randy Savage back in the day.
When he first started, right before he went to ECW, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would have to mention Mikey Ripwreck. Hey, you know what? Obviously, the Dudley Boys, too. The Dudley Boys is another one.
Yeah, I thought about putting, like, a tag team in there, like Public Enemy or Dudley's, you know what I mean?
I'll give Dudley's for sure, big time. And the last one, Mick Foley did. And then because I'm not trying to go, obviously, details of why. So the last one I will want to go, at least, would be Raven.
Raven. That's a good one.
Raven, because we saw how Raven was at ECW. Man, whoever's ideal was that Holy Cross, everything. I mean,
it offended Kurt Angle. It offended Kurt Angle, though.
It offended Mike. You think you don't like that? The heroes don't not like the Great American Heroes don't like it. I'm gonna lie, it did kind of offend me too, man.
But at the same time,
but still,
Raven's such an amazing promo. I gotta say that's probably his best.
He is He's like a psychedelic, hardcore promo.
Damn good promo.
He's a poet. He's a poet. He's a good. He can do monologues.
I love him.
I don't see why he's not like one of the top actors in Hollywood right now. He's really good at talking.
Yeah, but he should be a manager. Yeah. He should have been a manager for Jimmy Havoc. That would have been great for Jimmy Havoc, and or for Darby Allin. That would
Darby Allin, that would be perfect.
That'd be perfect. Very perfect manager for Darby Allin. But that's my honorable mentions, and so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off to the heroes of all heroes.
All right,
that was you're the last one here.
Here we go. So after careful thoughts and sleeping on it, waking up on it, dreaming about it, here is my top 5 hardcore not champions, wrestlers. Starting with, of course, the Sandman himself, Thank you, Sandman, for that awesome shout outs. It's great to hear from you. And yeah, number 5 in my top 5. Man, seeing that, because I saw One Night Stand 2006 when it was airing, and seeing everybody sing to Metallica, Enter Sandman, it was just like I've been to Metallica concerts, and not even there do you get that energy while Enter Sandman is playing. But hearing it there and seeing it there, my goodness, it was just. I've searched for it on YouTube so many times, and I've never been able to see it again. So the unfortunate thing for Sandman, I feel, is that Metallica charges a pretty penny for using that song.
They sued Napster, so we already know that.
Yeah, and now I'm hearing that they want to own other bands' music just to make more money. It's but that's another subject. But
Handle of fish.
oh my goodness. Anywho, so Salmon, number 5. Number 4 is the whole fucking show. Rob Van Dam. That's right, man. This guy,
Mr. Monday Night.
Mr. Monday Night, Friday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, all that good stuff. He had so much potential in WWE, man. They could have strapped the rocket on this guy and taken him all the way to Pluto or Neptune. This guy, especially when he came over for during the invasion, he even had a championship match with Stone Cold and Kurt Angle. And at the time, I thought, man, he could actually, win the title. But yeah, Rob Van Dam.
I mean, the fact that he did win the WWE title and hold ECW title at the same time, I feel like he reached his potential, man. He could have went further, yeah.
He could have. I do think so.
But
he could have been a multiple-time
champion. The
weed. But he held almost. He held so many Intercontinental titles and all kind of other titles though too, man.
RVD would have been. If that shit wouldn't have happened, and my apologies to interrupt you, but if that wouldn't have happened, I think RVD would have been. He would have had the longer reign as champion.
Of course. I think they were going to build a new ECW around him.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually met Rob Van Dam at a pizza shop in San Jose, and he was
were his
so
eyes
cool.
red?
Maybe I can't remember that, but no, he was wearing sunglasses.
It's natural, bro.
And yeah, he was really cool. Really chill dude. Took a picture with him and whatnot. But yeah, and he's awesome in the ring, and his moveset are so iconic. But yeah. Number 4, RVD.
He rolls with a fat squad when you see him like walking around. In Vegas, he's got like 6 people with him.
Because of his girl, that's why. Because of his girl, Katie Forbes.
Yeah, he's a pimp.
And his girl got a girl too.
Hey.
Number 3 is the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu. Man, if you put 10 wrestlers on a row and you see and you ask somebody who's the most hardcore wrestler, 10 out of 10 times you're gonna choose Sabu out of the crowd there, because he just looks the part. He looks extreme, and his matches definitely live up to that reputation. I want to go back and see some of his earlier ECW matches. But yeah, man, what I've gotten to see of him already definitely is worthy of that title of hardcore legend. So number 3, Sabu. My number 2 is New Jack. Man, this guy got away with so much stuff that it's crazy,
Yeah.
They gotta make a movie about this guy somehow, some way, Netflix.
I hope they do, because
that,
cocaine's one hell of a drug.
Man, you'll be laughing at the end in a wheelchair, like all coked up.
That was that screwdriver.
I wish I could have a match with him, but at the same time,
what?
I don't.
You got
because
a death wish, bro. You got a death wish.
Man, are you
Just have
asking
spaghetti
for?
with them. Have spaghetti with them. Just eat
What?
spaghetti with them.
Why don't you make sure that you compete with him? Who makes the best spaghetti? How about that?
Bro,
oh, he'll win.
there's actually a match
Keep
on
it that
YouTube.
way.
There's actually a match on YouTube, man. It's in bad fucking quality. Like somebody, like a fan taped it or something from an indie show. But it's New Jack versus Sandman versus Abdullah the Butcher. And I think it was a ladder match. Shit. Man, if that match would have been like recorded better, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was extreme. He was extreme, and man, like I actually wouldn't mind having him being an interview on the show here. Someday.
He'd be cool. He's
You're
chill.
always welcome, New Jack. Always.
Yeah, so
Come on, bro. I want
that'd
that
be
spaghetti
cool.
recipe. We're gonna. I'm just pushing that.
So that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
number 2. Number 1, I was between him and an honorable mention that I have, but my number 1 is Mick Foley, and
Yep.
He deserves it.
it's the image of him falling from the Hell in a Cell is gonna be played well beyond any of us. I feel that moment in time of him falling is just is so iconic, so legendary, and also him going through the cell, the thumbtacks on that one match alone, his title victories. His title victory was spoiled by WCW, and people still tune in to watch it and stuff. So, I actually wouldn't mind meeting Mick Foley. I think he seems like a really cool dude and really down to earth. But yeah, I mean, Mick Foley, number 1, the hardcore legend, and yeah, so that's my list, top 5.
Any honorable mentions there, bro?
Yeah, my honorable mention would be Terry Funk.
Oh, let me give a shout out right quick to fucking Axel and Ian Rodden, man, with that fucking brutal fucking match they done in ECW where I believe they had both of their fucking wrists taped with glass glued to it. That was some violent fucking shit right there. Brother versus brother, man. If y'all haven't saw that match, that was on the Bloodsport DVD too, man. Go check it out. Probably on the WWE Network. Axel Rotten versus Ian Rotten in that fucking matchup, man. They got the glass taped to their arm, their fist. Holy shit.
One more honorable mention, if I may. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, right?
Yeah, deathmatch.
I feel if given the chance, he could do more hardcore or stuff, than he's been allowed to. I see that in him, and I think he was going to have a feud with Mick Foley, and he had this match. I think it was in a steel cage with Jericho in WWE. That was pretty.
Oh yeah, it was that
the Asylum, Ambrose
Ambrose Asylum match when they had
right. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed that match, and I think when it comes to hardcore, I think he has that in him. So a little shout out there.
Well, just to mention,
Sure.
That John Moxley did was already hardcore when he did competed in Combat Zone Wrestling and other indie promotions. He's done it before. He's mainly known in Combat Zone Wrestling, his style profession of his hardcore. He was just like, he reminds me straight out. I mean, I can't. I know it's unfortunate to say that I can compare to this person. It reminds me of his attitude. To CM Punk. It reminds me of CM Punk's attitude. But obviously it's different, wrestling, different style techniques. But yes, Moxley does remind me of his wrestling style of Stan, Bruiser, everyone that we mentioned today. It has a lot of what Moxley. I'm not gonna get me wrong, Moxley can fucking wrestle if he wants to. But he's a street fighter, man. Like he reminds me of Steve Austin when obviously as well because of his attitude. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you definitely for sure on that. Yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, watch that. Watch it on YouTube. Look for Moxley's Combat Zone Wrestling or other indie promotion wrestling.
I wanna give 2 shout outs. somewhat of an honorable mention to Crash Holly and another honorable mention to Stevie Richards. You know, they would have been like, if it was a top 10, they would have been like 9, 10, 11, somewhere on there. They put in the hard work. I gotta say, Crash Holly, you know, he you know, because he mentioned Spike Dudley. I gotta give also it to Crash Holly too.
Oh, the greatest fucking hardcore champion in WWF history, man. And also, man, shout out to Rhino, man. Shout out to Rhino.
Rhino.
And the BWO.
And Taz. Yeah,
that's right, BWO. Blue Mini Nova, which was obviously
Simon Dean
and Stevie Richards. That was a good one. I loved it. That was a great fucking group. Honestly, to be honest, we all could agree on this, that ECW had the greatest roster during that time. It was
now we're
great creative.
ECW. We missed the fuck out of ECW, goddammit.
In the documentary, they said ECW is a place where new wrestlers go to get discovered and old wrestlers go to be reborn.
And
he said about it.
Oh yeah, WWE was even funding ECW, man, because Vince knew that Paul Heyman was good at finding talent, and he even funded him for a little bit.
Yeah, it just, you know, now that we're off the subject with that right quick, like, that's why, you know, with the whole situation, why Paul Heyman was let go, because I love Heyman of his mind creativity, that he's able to go ahead and try to test these stars out and give them a shot and see what they got in and out of the ring, charisma, in-ring talent. I don't think this should be discriminative of the in-ring talent. That's not what I see it. I think what they want, obviously we all know what the product looks for is charisma. If you have the skills, the mic skills, the attitude that you're able to provide. And I think Heyman could do that. I think Heyman could do that with every individual in that roster, this president, which he was trying to do. I feel the same with Eric Bischoff. He could have done, you know, as well. And obviously Bruce, but you know,
damn you, Bruce.
I mean, I love your podcast. But I'm just saying that it's not your fault, Bruce. I know you.
I love you.
I love you.
Bruce is just a fucking. He's a yes man. Man, anything Vince McMahon, like, he agrees everything Vince. He knows what Vince wants, basically.
Pretty much, he does.
Bruce, I want you to get you to get butt naked on Tuesday and show up to my house covered in whipped cream.
Could you imagine though if WWE let Paul Heyman go without the handcuffs on? Let him go book without the handcuffs on?
They already did. I mean, imagine already if they let him go, he'll go to AEW. You know, Tony. Let me tell you one thing. I know we're off the subject with these top fives before Brandon, and I apologize to keep it a little bit long. But I just want to go ahead and just mention this, that look, WWE only has $3 billion of what that company's worth, and they have the money to spend. Remind you that Tony Khan and his papi are $8 billion in revenue, and they're able to buy, get talent if they want. So that's why Vinny is throwing all this as much as he can to get all these talents, to keep them there as much as possible. You don't see Tony Khan doing that, or his father, because they know what's best for business, and they're knowing how to do it right. And Vince needs to learn. He's fearing right now so bad. He's fearing because AEW is going to be the one, your next WCW, which it is. But I think this time it's going to be a hell of a competition. Yes, they won these 3 weeks, obviously, in the ratings. But right now, how's it looking? I don't know.
It'll turn back around.
I hope it do. And for God's sakes, build up your talent and roster you have. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize for keeping this long. I just want to go ahead and thank everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much. Just don't forget to subscribe to the channel right below, and also don't forget to follow our social media platforms, which is our Twitter, which somebody over here put a poll over there, which it was 50-50, and somebody cheated. It could have been a 4
Hey.
horsemen. Could have won. Could have been a damn 4 horsemen, but you know.
I lie. I cheat and I steal.
Steal. That's right. Viva la raza. So you know, ladies and gentlemen, tune in, and also just to go ahead and advise as well that our next week top 5 coming up for next week will be a best 5 top 5 theme songs.
Ooh.
From the past and present. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys stay tuned next Sunday. Once again, I am your host, Ivan, the devious one, alongside with my brothers, which is one of the mothers, with Mr. Killer Josh Brett Horton, the American hero Mike Lopez, and the Studio Ball Studio Matt Carateja, saying to you guys, salud, prost,
Salud.
prost. Waiting for Mike. He ran out of beer today, so it's all right. But we love you guys, and we love you too, Sam, man. Thank you so much for the shout out.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, Sam, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you guys next Friday, episode 11. Stay tuned, and